her back, and then we just start to tussle. We literally just start to like fight. I feel like everyone was getting like consulted, like, you okay, okay, and I was just sitting there like a little gremlin, you know. I should have been named Stitch. Hey beautiful, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, hi, my name is Alexis Jayda and welcome. Today's notification shout out goes to Sandra. Thank you so much. I freaking love you. Thank you so much for your support and love. That is so freaking awesome that you were like hinting to your sister like, hey, name the baby Alexis Jayda. Woo. So I do have 3 FAMBAM that have named their babies after me, which is such a freaking blessing, y'all. Like, y'all have no idea. Like, I'm low-key like the godmother. Just kidding, but it's so freaking awesome. I'm like, oh my God. My brother named his baby Jaden, and he always is like, I didn't name him after you. But low-key, I'm like, yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Well, but I just think it's so freaking, like, it's such a huge honor, and I really appreciate it. Like, that is so freaking, that's so cute. Oh, I'm in such a good mood, you guys. We got the AC fixed. I still have this fan right here going, so if you guys can hear it, I'm so sorry. This is like the last time you're gonna hear it, but it's hot, y'all. I recorded almost 2-3 hours my previous story time, and I have to shorten it down because I have to keep it kind of like, you know, PG because of YouTube. You guys have been mentioning if I could put like the full on a different platform, so I'm trying to see how I can do that, because some of you guys are like, Jade, I hate when you blurp out the cussing, and some of you guys are like, I love it because I can watch it around my kids, and you know, like, it just goes over their head. So I'm trying to like give everybody a little something that they want. But anyways, I want to show you guys something really cool. FAMBAM Shiloh sent me this really pretty Tweety Bird bracelet. Like, oh my God, y'all, you guys are so freaking amazing. It's so freaking cute. It makes me so happy to look at it. I love it so much. Family Demore, sorry, she sent me some Tweety Bird earrings. Like, isn't that freaking cool? Like, isn't that freaking cool? Like, who am I? Oh my God, I am so blessed. Thank you so freaking much. Also, I wanted to update you guys. So a lot of you guys know that I have these cassettes. I recorded a lot in my younger years. Like, it's so crazy. Like, I don't know like what I was like, I don't know, right? So I have my diaries, and then I have my cassettes, and I asked you guys where I could send them or where I could go. A lot of you guys said Costco, but the Costco around me doesn't do it anymore. So I was like, some bitch, because I wanted to convert these into like a USB drive so that I could edit it and put it in like my story times and show you guys like little likes and stuff and what I was doing and everything. Because on some of these cassettes, I made like movies and stuff like that with like my siblings and my cousins and stuff. Of course, I'm gonna blur the bitches' faces out. But anyways, there is one that I know for sure that I sat down and I was talking about my feelings because I was freaking pissed that day. And there's one, I think, where I recorded my cousin John. So I really want to get them fixed so I can, this one says BFFF. I don't know who the f was recording on that one. And then my mom, she recorded us when we were in Mexico. We were in Mexico for like 3-4 months visiting my stepdad's family, and I think I recorded over some of that stuff, which I'm so pissed off because I'm like, why? But my mom has the boys basketball, I think is when I was playing, and it says Martinez last game. Oh, okay, so when Martin was playing. So I'm so excited, you guys. I just wanted to let you guys know that once I get these into like a USB drive form, we are going to have some good chisme with these ones, because little Lex love to record. My mom had like a camcorder, and I would be like recording. I was like dancing también, showing my moves and stuff, because I love to listen to Britney Spears. I remember one time I recorded and I was like getting down, and I was like, Mom, let me show you what I recorded. We had my uncle and his kids over and stuff, and I was like, me and his daughter were always like butting heads. We just didn't like each other, you know. I got her to dance on the little cassette too, and we played it, hooked it up and everything, and my uncle was freaking pissed that we were dancing, and his wife was like, oh, you should put like some dancing and stuff, because I was like like I was busting my move. I was feeling it, y'all. But yeah, it was so funny. My mom was beat ass red, but where he was already giving us a lot of like shit for it, my mom was like, so she had to put on like, you're doing great, sweetie, because she didn't want to give him the satisfaction of like us both getting up on, like them both getting up on me, because like he little crap would be big. Anyways, now let's get into the story time. Hold on, playing with this, y'all. Let me show you. Profusion sent it to me, and I'm so excited. And it is the Jurassic Park collection. Make sure you guys follow me on my Instagram because I'm very active on there. So this is the Jurassic World, and we're going to create something with the colors. I just don't know what yet, but we're going to create something. So sit back, relax. Oh, so if you want to be part of the notification squad, all you have to do is just like the video, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment down below. And your comment can possibly be the next notification shout out. Boom. I'm so freaking excited. I love recording. I wish I could like literally just lock myself up, but we've been like rearranging things lately, and y'all have been cricketing. That's very time consuming, and I'm on this like weight loss journey too, so I'm trying to like organize everything. And now I know why people love to be like organized, and I used to be like, why do they have alarms for like certain things where it's like this, and now it's like I'm understanding it more and more. I'm really hyper because I'm really like happy to see y'all. It's like I get to choose me out with my friends, take a little drinky drink. So sit back, relax, and let's get into it. Okay, so we left off. Mr. Peach is telling me like, I need to protect my family, giving me that whole speech like if I'm just running wild all the time, just like handing out putazos to everybody, which I should have, because they really had me like messed up all the way. And I am like debating, do I call Tommy? And sometimes I call her Tammy. I'm so sorry. I go between the two. And Sancha means side chick, you know, other lady. So yeah. So anyways, I'm like contemplating like, do I call this puta and tell her like, come pick me up right now? Come pick me up right now. I'm done with this family. Or do I just put my tail behind my legs because I did what I did? I go back inside, and Mrs. Peach and Nars, they're sitting at the table, and Nars flashes me an ugly ass look. Spoiler alert, me and her become like very like cool because she had like a similar upbringing. I heard her kid, so it's really hard to like, you know, smile at somebody or be like neutral or whatever. Did she have to tell me like, don't put your hands on my daughter? No, she could have, but I kind of understand in a weird way, you know, because it's her baby and whatever. So I see them, they're sitting there, they're like drinking their, you know, whatever. And she like looks at me, and you could just tell she was like annoyed with me. You beat my kid's ass, just like annoyed, right? So I just look at her and just go upstairs, and Peaches yells at me, Alexis, to change my face, you know, change your face. And I just yell back down, okay, because like what am I supposed to say? So I go upstairs and I just go to my room, and I don't even like slam the door like I want to. Like I want to slam the door, I want to act out, but I have to constantly remind little Lex, this is not your family. You cannot act out. Even if it was my mom and stuff, like I knew I couldn't act out like that. I did a few times, but I knew I could not act out like that because they could literally be like, get the F out. Or they could do something to me. Like you never know somebody's limit, especially when you're not family. And they already treat each other badly, so why do I think like I'm an exception or something? Or they're gonna be like, no, you know? You never know. So I close the door and I start to message what's his face, asking him like, hey, can we talk? He doesn't respond to me, and I just end up passing out. I'm like, okay, whatever. End up passing out. I wake up the next day to Nars kind of like grabbing on my thigh, like, you know, moving me again. I'm sore, y'all. I'm sore. So I kind of like, I kind of just scrunch up, and she kind of looks at me, and I'm like, sorry. And she's like, can we talk? I'm like, sure. As I'm trying to get out of bed, you know, get my hair out of my face, disheveled. Hi. Just kidding. But she tells me like, no, like I want to like go. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like she wants to take me out. So I'm like, oh, okay. So she tells me she's gonna give me a minute, and that after I'm done, just to go downstairs. So I'm like, okay. So I don't know what was going to go on. I should have thought more like she is going to go beat your ass because you touched a kid, you know? But I wasn't thinking that. I was just like, okay, like I'm barely waking up. I'm not really like all there, all that. So I get ready, check my phone. Some bitch has not brought me back at all. I make my way downstairs. I have my clothes on, and I'm like, and I see Nars at the bottom. She has like her purse on, and she's like, tell me, like, are you ready? And I'm like, yes. I don't know what's going on. For all I know, she could be taking me to CPS, you know? And I was like, yes. And I hear Mrs. Peach say, where are you guys going? And she kind of looks like, you know, like she's gonna get ready, like dusting her hands off on her shirt, like, where are you guys going? And Nars tells her, like, don't worry about it, we'll be back. Stitch, Lilo, and Sam are like, we want to go. First of all, you can't sit here, you can't sit with us. So I just look at them, and Nars looks at Stitch and tells her to shut the fuck up, that she's not going anywhere. I don't know why she hit her with that heat that quick. I was just like, damn. And she like, so we're walking outside, getting in the car, and I ask her, I'm like, so where are we going? And she tells me, like, we're just gonna go for a drive. I just want to talk to you a little bit and get to know, like, you know, you, what happened, the situation. And from what I'm hearing from them, it sounds like you're one of those badass kids. And when I tell y'all, it felt like a breath of fresh air for someone to like give me the chance to explain my side. It was like a sigh of relief where I'm like, oh, what? Because I'm not used to that. I'm so used to these old viejas. And oh, I had a comment where someone was like, Alexis, don't generalize all the old Mexican ladies because some are very nice. Yes, I'm sorry, but I don't know how else to word it. But because I was around the type of old viejas that would chismear so much, so I don't know how to, like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to ever offend anybody. I'm just talking and like and I feel like I'm constantly having to apologize. I'm like, I didn't mean it like this, I don't mean like that. I promise I never mean to mean any harm or try to generalize everybody in one category. I honestly thought that's how some old ladies were, and it wasn't even because of race. I'm just like, that's just how old ladies are. Like, they're just mean, and like they want to like traumatize us in a way. Until I met my husband's grandmother on his dad's side. Oh my gosh. And even on his mother's side too, they were so sweet to me, like so sweet. Quick story about Rudy's mom's mom. So before she passed away, she would come down and she would visit a lot, and she was always up early, cleaning, all of that, and I would take makeup clients. And so I would be at the table, and I'd be setting my makeup out, and she would literally sip on her coffee and watch me, and she would see like the money I would make and stuff, and she'd be like, you know, good job. And she would always compliment me on how beautiful I looked, how like, you know, this I was and that. And it was just so like, I was really like taken back, like, wow, this is how people are supposed to like not give out compliments, but just act normal and like nice, because I wasn't used to being around older ladies that were so nice like that. Rudy's dad's mother, same way, super nice to me. Every time I've given birth, she has FaceTimed us, and she is just so hard when I compliment other people's like grandparents, and I think about like mine, and I'm like, oh, they didn't do that. Oh my god, I do not want to cry. Every time I've given birth, she has FaceTimed us, and she has like told me like, oh, you know, when's the next one, Alexis? You have to have them all before I go. It's just super sweet. And when she used to come down, she would grab my Andres and my Angelica, and like my Andres sweats a lot, and she would literally have him on her lap and just be rubbing his head. And even though he was all sweaty, she didn't care. She is such a sweet lady. And even when she's like on FaceTime and Rudy's dad's around, she always asks about me, how I'm doing, and it literally blows my, oh my god. It literally blows my mind that like I'm not even blood related, and like she's just so sweet. She's just so sweet. When Rudy went to go visit her, I think it was last year, asked about us, asked us always about all my babies, my Noah, like so freaking sweet. And I honestly like did not know that like people like this were like so sweet that were older, because I was always around older ladies that just seemed so miserable and were so mean. My grandma is so miserable and so freaking mean. So when I got around Rudy's grandparents, I was like expecting that they were going to judge me because I already had 2 babies. They're going to judge me because I didn't have an education or so many things, you know. But no, they have always been so sweet, so kind. Rudy's grandmother even gifted me. She was wearing a necklace, she was wearing a bracelet, and I just commented on it like, oh, that's so pretty. She took it off and put it on me. She's just so sweet, and I will cherish those things for the rest of my life. So I don't mean to offend anybody when I say, you know, that and stuff like that, because I do have older ladies that I have in my life that are just so freaking amazing. So I'm sorry if like at times I do like tend to like say things a certain way. I will try and do better about that. I don't mean to. I just feel like I'm just speaking in the moment of like how I felt, and sometimes I even, where I go back to that place, I forget to correct myself and be like, yeah, but now, you know. So I apologize, but I honestly thought when I was younger that's just how older ladies were. And I really thought like, oh, it's because of this, or that's why they're like this, or that's why we can't change them. And I have to reflect on the older ladies that I have came in contact with, and not just be stuck in the negative, and think about like, wow, these are some amazing women that I have came in contact. And one of the ladies has passed, but she was so freaking nice to me, so nice, and I will never forget her kindness. And Rudy's grandma, who's in Mexico right now, I'm always telling Rudy like, go visit her, because she is just so sweet. She's so sweet, she's so kind, and it just shows that just because you might have had like a crazy upbringing, you don't always have to be negative, you know. And I just have to remind myself to do better and word things better. So I never mean to offend, I promise. I never mean to. And yeah, so sorry you guys. I hate when I cry, but I really try to fight through it. I really be trying to fight back my tears. Like my throat be feeling like it's throbbing and tightening. I'm just like, because it hurts so freaking much. No, I cried off the thing. Ridiculous, girl. Get it together. So it was really amazing, and I felt so like, oh my goodness, because I felt like I was giving the chance to explain my side, because I was so used to being around like the ex's mom and a group of ladies that she would introduce me, be like, oh, hi, like all nice. And then later on when I come around, they'd be like, because she tainted their like thought of me, and she would tell them like false stuff. There was ladies that she would hang out with, and she would tell them a story, and then later on when I was doing makeup, they'd reach out like, hey, can you do my daughter's makeup, and still gave me like the stink eye. And then they would be around me and be like, you know what, Mija, like you're really not that bad. And I'd be like, why or what? And then know all this information, you know, and I'd be like, that's crazy. So it really tripped me out when Nars was like, I just want to know what's up with you, like why are you so angry, because I'm hearing all this crazy stuff. And I was just like, So she took me out to go grab breakfast, and I didn't want to eat a lot, because when I'm nervous I really can't eat, like I can't chow down. Like I know she was probably picturing like, oh, this poor girl, like, you know, all flaquita, she's probably gonna scarf everything down, because she kept saying like, order whatever you want, there's no limit, order wherever you want, because I was really flaquita. And so I just ordered a little bit, and I was like, she probably picturing like I'm just gonna be scarfing down, putting my fingers and everything, just eating. But I was just like I always have my guard up, because I'm like, what's to come? Like it's really hard to bring it down, and the only person I really brought it all the way down was Bubbles. So she was just telling me like, order whatever you want, and I was like, I'm gonna order a number 4, something not expensive. So we're talking, and she's kind of trying to ask me like, so what's up with your mom and the situation with that. And so I was just telling her very like little, like, oh, well, she's away right now. I wasn't like Shunjo. I was like, she's away right now, and I'm just going to be staying with the Peaches for a little bit. And she's like, well, why? And I know she was trying to like, you know, pry. And that's what's kind of annoying sometimes. I feel like when people want to know like information, they sometimes think that someone is just like, they just want someone just to open up just by pushing a button, and then they expect like a whole thing. Like it takes a minute for people to like open up. If you're trying to get information from like your teen or something, don't ever expect that like they're gonna give you an answer straight off the bat. Like you have to build that trust. And I feel like a lot of these adults around me just expected me just to be like an open book and be like, oh, brrr, and no, like, are you serious? No. She kept like trying to like get me to like talk about like my life. And you know, I heard that you have like these bruises. And so she was like, you know, and Mrs. Peach thinks that Mr. Peach did it for some reason, and like, is everything okay? Like, you can tell me. And I got annoyed. I'm not gonna lie, I got annoyed. I'm even annoyed even thinking about it. And I tell her, like, why would I tell you? Like, why would I don't even know you. Like, why would I tell you? Even if like he did or did not do it, like, why would I tell you? And she tells me that it's okay, like it's a safe place, that Mrs. Peach doesn't even know that she was going to take me out. And I tell her, I'm like, okay. And then I think back like how Mrs. Peach was like, where are you guys going? Or how everyone was going. And then I was thinking like, maybe you told her to act like that so I could be like, huh, you know what, and get her on my side. Like, don't play me stupid. Like, don't reverse psychology nothing on me. So I just looked at her and I'm like, nothing. And so she asks me like, is it a boyfriend? Is a boyfriend doing that to you? And I told her and stuff like, why would I trust her? And she was telling me that she was in the situation. She's like, let me tell you a little bit about me. So she starts telling me some personal stuff, which I'm not going to repeat because it's not my place. And she was just trying to open up to me, like, so, you know, this, just imagine like her just like talking to me. And if anything, it was like a therapy session for her, because I was asking questions and she was like answering. And I was like, oh, like, you know, listening to her, that was nice. I appreciated her sharing her story, but I still didn't want to open up. So she was like, so you see, I told you something about me. So, and I was like, yeah, no. And she was like, are you serious? Like, you could tell she was getting annoyed because what she did wasn't working, but I'm sorry, no. So I told her like, no, I just don't feel comfortable. Like, I could talk to somebody else about it, but I just don't feel comfortable talking to you about it. Like, I don't even know you. And then she tries saying like, well, you don't even know a therapist, but you sit there and you talk about your, you know, your thoughts and stuff like this should make you feel safe too. And I was like, yeah, but no. She tells me, well, you know, I just hope the next couple of days you can see that, you know, like I can talk to her. And I guess she was trying, I get it, but she was just coming out kind of strong, y'all. And I know some of you guys are gonna be like, Alexis, you should have told her It's not how it works, y'all. It's not how it works, okay? I didn't know her motive. Wasn't around her. Like, just because she was nice, like, here and had her moments, like, I didn't know her to feel like, you know what I mean? Like, when I tell y'all, my wall was high. It was sky high. So she just tells me that like if I have everything packed that I need for, you know, the little like the lake trip. And I'm like, oh, Mr. Peach said I can't go. And she goes, what? And I'm like, yeah. And I don't even got anything to wear if I really think about it. I did have something, but I was kind of embarrassed because I'm like, oh, like these girls, like I was just like, eh. You know how you just have like, you know, your moments where you have like body dysmorphia? I still have that. And like yesterday I felt good though. Yesterday I felt good. I was like, ooh, bitch. And then like I just, yeah, no. But when I was younger, I really had it really bad, like really bad. And so she was like, what? And so she takes me to Walmart and tells me that I can grab like some shorts or some pants, whatever. Super nice, you know? And I was like, no, it's okay. Like Mr. Peach said, I'm not going. And she's like, we'll see about that. I'm like, okay. So I pick out a pair of shorts because I'm not gonna wear like a bikini or anything like that. And we head home. It's still like butt ass early, like butt cracked down early. We get there and Mrs. Peach tells me, like, Alexis, go upstairs and he talk to you. And Nurse is like telling her like, what? And she's like, Alexis, don't tell her anything. Your secret is safe with me. Now, I don't know if she was trying to be funny, but it's like, bitch, why would you say that? Why would you say that? Now she's gonna think like, oh, I don't know if she's trying to be funny, y'all, but that's not how you do shit, okay? So I go upstairs and I wait in my room and I hear Mrs. Peach coming upstairs and she's kind of like yelling at Sam to like, how come she's not ready and to get ready. And Sam's like, okay, you know, talking to her. She gets to my room and she like tells me and stuff like, so what did you guys go do? And I told her, oh, she took me out to eat. Why did she take you out to eat? I tell her, I'm like, oh, she just wanted to know about the situation, what happened last night. And Mrs. Peach is like telling me like, don't you feel embarrassed that you acted so stupid last night? Don't you feel embarrassed? And I'm like, yes. And she's like, do you? I don't think you do. I don't think that you feel embarrassed, ashamed, any of that for how you acted last night. Like, you know how much you embarrassed me? Like, why did you act like that? And in my head, I wanted to be like, first of all, bitch, it was Sam too, okay? But in my head, I know I can't talk like that because like I'm gonna get my ass beat. Not literally, but I'm gonna get told off. And so I tell her like, I don't know, like I'm sorry, and that like I talked to her and stuff and explained the situation, and she was like, I am so embarrassed. So embarrassed. Do you know that? You embarrassed me. Nunca have I ever been this embarrassed. And I kind of chuckled because I'm all, bitch, really? Because Baltimore over there making you look like a dumbass, bitch. But okay. So I'm just like, and she's like, ¿Por qué te ríes? Why are you laughing? And I'm like, I don't know. And she's like, no, dime, ¿por qué te ríes? And I'm like, I don't know. And she's like, oh, so you just laugh for no reason? I'm just, so she starts like to like, you know, like whatever, laugh. And I'm like, she's like, ask me why I'm laughing. I'm like, ¿Por qué te ríes? And she's like, oh, you think you're funny. You told me to do something and I did it. But maybe because I literally mimicked her tone. And I shouldn't have. But it's so hard. Like, how are you going to be like, ask me. And then I do it and you'd be like, why'd you copy me like that? You know? So I don't even, it was such a mind game. Hold on, y'all. It was such a mind game that it was like very disgusting how she was. So anyways, she's trying to get it out of me, and I'm like, we really didn't talk about anything. If anything, she just told me how she grew up, all the struggles and stuff. And she's like, and why would she tell you that? So why does everybody just feel so comfortable talking to you? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I still have that. When I will be like in the waiting room and me and like whoever, if we talk or if we vibe or something, we would just talk and we'll be like sharing stories and stuff. I don't know. And so I tell her like, I don't know. She's like, oh, so you don't know anything, huh? You just don't know. You're just there. You're just there. You're just there. And she just came and she wanted to talk to you. You're just there. And you don't say anything. So I'm pretty sure that's not what happened. And I'm like, okay. And so I don't know if the girls told Nars like, hey, you got her in trouble. She picking on her. But the door opens up and it's Nars. And Nars like, what are you doing? Like telling Mrs. Peach. And Mrs. Peach is like, nada, I'm just talking to her. She's like, why? Like getting annoyed with her. And I tell her, I'm like, she's just asking like how it went. Peach looks at me because she's like, bitch. She's like, we just went out and I was just asking her what happened about the night and stuff. And I told her a little bit about my past and why. She looked so annoyed with her. And Peach was like looking at her face like, what the f with me? So it was very awkward. Just like okay. Like that. And I'm like, it's so weird. I feel so weird. Like, why is this like an argument? Why is this, I don't know. It was weird. I try and think like, okay, if my kids went out, I would want to know like, hey, what happened? Everything okay? But like just the way Mrs. Peach went about it, so weird. She wasn't a safe place. She swears that she was a safe place. We could talk to her, whatever, but no, she wasn't. She was like one of those, you can tell me anything and I'll use it against you type. Nars tells me, how come I'm not ready yet? Peach is like, what do you mean? She's not going. And she's like, why isn't she going? And she's like, because about last night, you know, what happened and stuff. And so Nars is like, it was, so nobody's going. So like none of the kids are going to go. And she's like, what do you mean none of the kids are going to go? She's not going to go. I was just like, oh my God, can she not hear herself? Like how crazy that sounds. And I'm not trying to like give myself like, but it tripped me out how she couldn't hear herself. Like how mean, how rude, how like anybody who's normal would be like, what are you doing? You know, like, why are you acting like that? Mr. Peach hears them like talking about it. So he comes upstairs. Nars talks to him and she's like, how come Alexis can't go? And he's like, because she's in trouble because like last night, all the drama. So then Nars tells Stitch, you're not going. Mr. Peach tells her like, ¿por qué estás tan dramática? Telling her like, why are you so dramatic? It's just Alexis who's in trouble because she knows better. And Nars tells her, so does Stitch. And she's like, you know what? Why is Sam going? Isn't Sam the one? And so it got awkward. It got very, very awkward. Mr. Peach got upset and he like told her, I'm not telling you to do with your girls, but Alexis isn't gonna go. She's not our child. She's helping babysit and we're letting her stay here while her mom is in jail. Nars looks at me and it's kind of like, cause I don't know, she didn't know that detail, or I don't know, but she kind of just like looked at me, and I say, it's fine, like I don't want to go, like I have plans. Nars is like, but I want you to go, like it's fun, you seem like excited about it, like I want you to go. Stitch is like, it's fine, like I can stay. We both did, you know, it was so weird where it's like, even us as kids, we were trying to like diffuse the adults being irritated about the situation, and it kind of just made me feel like really awkward, because it's a very awkward situation to be in. Mr. Peach just throws up his hands and he makes his way downstairs. Mrs. Peach tells me just to stay in the room and she'll call me out. And I'm like, okay. Because it was just weird how she said it. I don't know why she said it like that. I don't know if she was just trying to set the vibe of like evil stepmother. I don't freaking know. But I was like, okay. So I stay in there. Nars goes and talks to Stitch, and she sounds kind of upset with her about something. I don't really like recall what it was, but she like sounded upset with her, probably for like, you know, commenting and saying like, I'll stay, or I don't know. A couple of minutes pass by and Mrs. Peach calls me downstairs, and she tells me that how come I'm not ready, and I'm like, oh, for what? And she's like, oh my god, those are her hands. Why do you like to frustrate me? Why aren't you ready? And I'm like, for what? And she's like, to go to the lake. And I'm like, I thought I wasn't going. And she's like, why aren't you ready? I thought I wasn't going. Why aren't you ready? So do I go get ready? Yes, Alexis, go get ready. Oh my god, you're so fucking stupid. And I looked at her because I was like, I don't want to go. And she's like, why? Why don't you want to go? Why don't you want to go now? Making all this drama, all of this mess. Why don't you want to go now? And I tell her, I'm like, because I don't like how you're talking to me. Because I really didn't. Like, she has called me a lot of names, but when she told me like, you, like, why are you being so stupid? I was like, oh hell no. Like, I feel like this is hostile. I don't want to go. And so I'm like, I don't want to go. And she's like, don't be so ridiculous. Go upstairs and get ready. After all this drama that you just created, now you don't want to go? And I tell her, I'm like, I didn't cause anything. And she's like, yes, you did. I put my hands on Stitch, and then I make Nars feel bad for me. And that I tell her my story about my mom being in jail. And I'm like, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. And she's like, okay. Tries to like shut me up. I start to cry. It's not because I started to cry because I'm like, oh, I know Nars is on my side. I started to cry because I was so freaking frustrated with how she was talking to me. Like, she was just so cold and so annoyed. And when she was wrong, it was really hard for her to like not pick on me or Sam or whatever. Like, she was just so bitchy and just like rude. So I start crying and I just go straight to the restroom that they have right there. And I'm just like, and I turn on the water because I'm just so like, like, oh my god, like, yes, I wanted to go, but now I don't even want to go because I won't even have like a fun time because like she made me feel like poop for it. Like, it's not gonna be a good time. I'm not gonna have a fun time because she literally made me feel like, oh my god, now we have to take you. And that's not a good feeling, y'all. Like, it doesn't make you want to be like, okay, maybe you'll have your times where you're like, okay, and we'll take it and be like, okay, like, I'll go because you really want to go. But there's a lot of times where it's like, it's not even worth it. Like, I don't even want to go because like how you made me feel. Like, and if someone doesn't invite you, it's because they didn't want you there. You know what I'm saying? I was in trouble. Like, this wasn't the incident because I was in trouble and they were like trying to punish me. So I'm trying to not be so loud when I cry, and I hear Peach knocking on the door like, Alexis, hurry and get out, please. I don't want to do this. She sounded so annoyed with me, y'all. Like, so like if I overstimulated her so bad. Like, she was just over it. Like, you can just tell she was regretting letting me stay with them because of her tone, and that made me feel so sick how she sounded. Like, you know how kids sound when they are just so like exhausted and they start going like that. That's how she sounded. She sounded like she was throwing her own little fit along with me. She sounded like frustrated. She was like, Alexis, please, like, just annoyed. And I'm like, okay, because I wanted her to get away from the door. And so she's like, please finish getting ready. And I'm like, okay. So I make my way upstairs. My face is like BS red because I just got done crying, and I see that Lilo is in the room I'm staying in. She asks me if I'm okay, and I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. She's like, if you go and you have to babysit the kids, like, I'll help you. She's such a sweetie. And I was like, oh, okay, thanks. And so my face is red. I just start putting stuff in my backpack, and she's like, do you need help? And I'm like, no, like, I'm fine. And Sam comes to the door. She's like, are you ready? With like attitude. And I look at her, I'm like, Sam, and she's like, don't start. Don't start. And so she's telling me like not to start. And I'm like, damn, like everyone is just like, don't start, Lex. So I see Stitch, and I still want her, y'all. I still want her because I already know, okay, she throws down. She's someone that I can get my anger off of. That is not okay. That is not cool. Don't be that type of person where you know just because someone will like fight with you that it's okay to like continue. That is toxic as shit. Don't be that person. It's disgusting. It's gross. Don't be that person. Was I that person? Yes. But don't be that person, because learn from me. It's not cool to have that type of mentality and feeling, and it's just not cool, period. So I look at her and I'm like, I still want her because I feel like she down with it. So we can go around too, bitch. So we all go downstairs. Nars, it tells me and Stitch, what are y'all doing? And I'm like, going to the lake. I'm the first one to talk. And Stitch is like, she's like, you guys aren't going. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then Peach comes, what? No, let's go. Because if Alexis stays, then you're going to make her stay. And that's not fair. And like, again, placing the blame on me. And I'm like, oh my God. Ugh. If you do this as a parent and it's not as harsh how these people were, it will f your kids' head up. Please don't do it. I'm laughing because I'm uncomfortable. Please don't do it. Please don't do that. Don't be like, oh, Daniel acted up, so none of us get to go. Or, oh, we can't do this because so-and-so wanted to have a night. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because you make that child feel so excluded. And now you have, it's not just like them that feel like that with you. Now their siblings feel like that. And it's like, oh my God, I ruined the whole day. Don't do that. My mom used to do it too. Don't do that. My mom's doing a lot better with my siblings now. But don't do that. We don't catch ourselves doing it. I have done that too. And I'm like, ah, and I have to go put myself in timeout. And I do apologize to my kids. I know a lot of people don't apologize to their kids because they're like, what the f? But I have learned you do have to apologize because it does stick with your child. So I do apologize when I lose like my cool, because I am not perfect. I am far from it. I will, you know, hey, come on. I need to talk to you, and I'll explain my feelings, and I will apologize, and all of that. So yeah, so Peach says that, and we're just like, oh, because it's embarrassing, like putting us on blast like that. Like, oh, well, I say us, but it was just me, bitch. It was just me. Mr. Peach is like, come on, let's go have fun. Let's forget about everything. You guys are here to have a good time. Come on. And we're kind of like, I'm and Stitch are kind of like, where do we go? So Nars is like, so are they staying or are they going? Because if we're gonna go, I don't want any drama. They're at the lake. I want to have a good time. So she's telling Peach, pretty much like, are you gonna be mean to her when we're there? Because I just want to have a good time. Like I don't want her to be scolded over there. So she's like, come on. So we end up getting in the car. I ride with Peach and Nars. They don't put me and Stitch in the same car. They put me, Lilo, and another baby in the car. So we are sitting there and we're driving. It's like a good way out. So we're driving and listening to music. Nars keeps making eye contact with me in the mirror here and there. And just like smiling. I think she, I don't know, I can't speak for her, but I think she was trying to like make me feel like better. I don't know. Because she was giving me a lot of mean ass looks, y'all. Like she was at the beginning. So I think maybe she was like trying to make up for it, or I don't know. Or maybe her hearing like her mama in jail. She was like, oh, okay. You know, we get to the spot. The kids run down. We find a spot to sit down. Okay, this is the one. You know, everyone gets all the stuff out. Mr. Peach had went shopping and got everything, so we're just settled there. Start putting on the sunscreen, everything. Mr. Peach is setting up the grill. It's like a good time. It feels like a nice like breeze going on. It's a big ass lake. It's a fun time. It's a fun time. Again, I am excluded from like the little like throuple gang, you know, even though Lilo and we were in the car, we were talking like here and there. she's very much still Stitch's side. Like, that's her sister. Duh, you know, like I'm not stupid. We're just sitting there and I'm getting the kids ready because I already know like y'all gonna be my besties, and I'm cool with that. Like, I'm cool. I've always gravitated towards the kids because they're my friends. So I'm getting the kids ready because I'm going to take them down because I just already know, like, you know what I have to do without being told. Like, I just know. Like, I just know. So I'm getting the kids ready. Nars asks me like what I'm doing, and I'm telling her like, oh, I'm gonna take the kids down, and she's like, no, like me and Mrs. Peach will. And I'm like, oh no, it's fine. Like, I want to take them. They've been wanting to get in since we got here. And she's like, are you sure? Mrs. Peach is like, déjala. Like, if she wants to, like, let her. Like, she's like really close to the kids. They love her, and the kids are like, like, you know, being cute. Like, yeah, well, we're ready to go play with her. Like, what are you doing? So she like tells me like, are you sure? Like, you don't want to just go with the girls? We look over at the girls and they're kind of like, you know, like, don't invite her. Nars tells Stitch to change her face, and Stitch is like, okay, changes it. And I'm like, damn. Did your mama beat your ass after I beat your ass or what? Because she like didn't really have an attitude. I take the kids down and we're kind of like Stitch, Lilo, and Sam are here. I'm over here with the kids and stuff, and my anxiety's creeping up because they keep laughing, and I'm like, oh, Lex, like, you need to like control this. Like, they can laugh. Like, it's not a big deal. They can hee-haw all they want. Like, what's wrong with you? So I'm playing with the kids and I'm trying so hard not to care until I heard, look at her. She's getting so mad. Look at her. I don't know if they're talking about me. So I look over and Sam's like, ew. Y'all don't know how bad I wanted Sam. Y'all don't know. If I could have beat up Sam instead of Stitch, I would have done it así. Because I was like, what is wrong with her? Like, why is she really trying to irk myself? Like, what is it? What is it? Like, does she really, 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 really think that I won't get her? Like, does she really? So I'm like, really, when I tell you I had so much pent up anger, y'all, I would hate how mad I would get, because it made me want to like myself, because I would get so mad I didn't know how to release that anger. That is not okay. Don't not do that, please. I was so upset. And so she's like, ew, look at her. And I could hear Lilo like, guys, stop. Like, oh my God, you guys stop. So she was trying to like, you know, and I don't know why Stitch was trying to creep up too. So they started splashing each other, and they started splashing towards me and the babies. The babies are like, hey, you're getting us. They ignored the babies. So I get pissed. I put the babies behind me. So I start slashing back, and I'm like, quit. Like, what the f y'all? Quit. So I'm like, you know, doing that. Then we hear a whistle. If y'all don't know, if you have not been in a family that like whistles, there's a certain call that your family does where like it you know, like, oh, that's Dad's whistle, that's my mom's whistle, that's my uncle's, whoever. It's a whistle. It's Mr. Peach. We look over and we just like immediately stop, and I keep playing with the kids. Mr. Peach calls Sam, starts yelling at her and telling her to stop. So I don't know what he tells her or what. She walks back in, fixing her stuff, and just gives me an eye roll like, ugh. I wanted her, y'all. I wanted her. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna get her. I'm gonna get her. Because we were told we were gonna be there all day. So I was like, all right, I got all day to plan to get her. So Mr. Peach, Nars, Peach, sitting on the beach. They have their chairs. They're just watching us. They come out with the ball, give us the volleyball. Like, oh, you guys play here. Nars and Peach, they take the kids. And so it's just me and the three amigos. And Lilo's like, let's play. Come on, let's play, guys. Trying to like be the one to be like, come on, guys. Come on, guys. But like, you know, you low-key know, like, everybody, like, we don't like each other. So we start playing volleyball. It's 3 against 1 because no one wants to be on my team, and I was like, that's fine. So as we're playing more, I'm like literally running from this side, running to this side. Nars tells Mr. Peach like, go help her. So like he gets in, we start playing, we're having a good time. We almost forget that like we don't like each other. Playing, have a good time. Mr. Peach tells us like, okay guys, like we're gonna get out, we're gonna go eat and stuff. Like we've worked out a good appetite, and we're all like, yeah, you know, because we're in a good mood. And sometimes when you're feeling really, really good, you forget like how upset you are at like so-and-so or whatever it might be. He tells us like to go up in a little bit, and we're like, yeah. My dumbass even forgets, and I'm like, yeah, because like I'm having a good time. And I hate that little Lex would get like this because I was letting my guard down, and I'd be like, yeah, like I totally would forget, you know. And it's so dumb because it's like, how could you forget? But it's because I was just so desperate to just want to be normal that I would forget, y'all. Like it pisses me off even now when I do that and I forget, like, that person don't like you, what are you doing? Like, yeah, like a pendeja estúpida. They all go up. Lilo is like, okay, well, I'm gonna sit there and like dry out. So she's sitting out, she's drying out. I'm not gonna play volleyball anymore because I'm like, I'm good, I don't want to play no more. And Sam is like, we should play chicken. If you've all ever played chicken, someone's on, you're holding somebody and they like fight, they try to knock each other out. One lands into the water. Okay, you're done. Lilo is like, okay, I want it to dry, but it's fine. So she gets back in, and she is the one that I am going to be holding. So I'm like, okay, no biggie. Like, it would be stupid if I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna take Stitch, right? So I hold Lilo, and she goes against Sam. Sam's psychotic ass just like boom, knocks her down with the quickness. We both go back, and I got kind of paranoid because when we both went back, Lilo had her legs like against, like she had them wrapped around like my stomach like really tight. So I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. Is she doing this on purpose? Because I beat her sister's ass. So when she finally lets go, I'm like, yo, dude, like you held on pretty tight. Stitch starts laughing and was like, oh, someone's scared. Like, you know, trying to like, let's start up again. And I look at her and I'm like, don't start, bitch, because you don't want it. And she's like, and what if I do? Lilo's like, come on, guys, take it out on chicken. So again, I get on top of Lilo. She's gonna sit here and act like I'm so heavy, which always made me feel really, really insecure. So I was like, you good? Like, can you hold me up or not? She's like, yeah, I can. So Sam holds up Stitch, and when I tell y'all, I was like, my muscles were like so tight around Lilo where I was like, bitch, I am not getting knocked over. I don't give a fuck. Like I felt like I was on her really good. You know what I mean? Like I was like, nope. Stitch is trying to like knock me down. She has her hands on my shoulders. I have my hands on hers, and we're like literally fighting. We were so intense in it that we didn't even know that we were drowning Sam and Lilo. I thought Lilo grabbing onto me and like squeezing my thighs really, really like hard was because like she was trying to hold. No, we were suffocating them bitches, suffocating them. And when they finally, I don't know what happened, like knocked us over, like we came to, we got bitched at ugly by them both, like ugly. And I was laughing because I thought it was so funny, and it wasn't, because like if it was the other way around, I would have been like, you trying to kill me, bitch, you trying to kill me. So we got both chewed out. Me and Stitch, we were laughing like, oh shit. We look at each other and we kind of have like a moment of like laughing because like we're some evil bitches, and I didn't want to lose, she didn't want to lose. So Sam and Lilo go up because they're so mad at us, and we're still out there just like laughing, fixing our hair, and we're just like, I'm gonna dry out here. I'm like, I do not want to get yelled at by Mrs. Peach. And we kind of have like a cool little moment because she's like telling me how we should go around too. Like, I bet you anything, like I can get you and stuff. Like, but we'll have to like, you know, give them a little bit. Like they mad. I'm like, I know. So we were just talking like normal, which was so kind of like weird because a couple of like minutes ago, I wanted her head, you know? Kind of just like drying out, kind of talking like, okay, whatever. And she like asks me like, what's my problem? Like, what's my story or what? That like, why are they taking care of me? And since like everyone knows already, I'm like, oh, my mom's incarcerated, I'm the nanny, and I watch them. You're probably not gonna last long. And she's like fixing her hair, and I'm like, yeah, I know, none of them usually do, and you can see why. So we kind of start laughing because we're both like, yeah, they crazy as bitch, you know? We hear Mr. Peach screaming our names, and it's not like a regular scream, like he is pissed scream. So he calls us both up, and we look back and we're like, oh, the food's ready, because that's what we both thought. But no, Lilo and Sam went up there and said that we were practically drowning them and that we don't know how to play. And we got yelled at. So So as we're going up, we're thinking like, oh, we about to grow up good, because like we just busted out a freaking workout playing, and no. So we go up there and he's like, what's wrong with you guys? Like, you know, they were really scared. And I was like, oh, I know, like, I'm so sorry. Cause like I did feel bad, because I was like, it was funny, but like I felt bad because like it could have been serious, and it's just because like we were so like wanting to like cut each other's heads off that we weren't paying attention. We go sit down and we get chewed out by both moms. That what the is wrong with us, that do they have to babysit us, and that we know what we're doing. And I was like, I am so sorry. It's because we were playing, we didn't like, I don't understand. Like I think like we were just like really into it, and I didn't know that I had made Lilo cry. So I was apologizing to Lilo, like, I am so sorry. Like I did not, like I was just so like into it. And she's like, I kept gripping on your thighs. And as she said that, Stitch starts laughing because she thinks it's so funny. And I'm like, I know, I thought you were just like holding on to me. I am so sorry. And trying to apologize to her. And she's like, it's fine, it's fine. Like I was just like really scared. And so Nars is looking at Stitch. She's like, do you got anything to say to Sam? And she's like, she'll be all right. Like, so Nars tells me and Sam to get me.
Do you want a cookie?
No, thank you, baby. Thank you.
Welcome.
Best interruption yet. Nars kind of snaps at us and says, if we think it's so funny that to get ready, me and Stitch. And so I'm like, oh. I'm like, okay. Because like I already said my sorries. I was like, bitch, I said sorry. So I was like, oh, okay. And so she's like, so you're not sorry? I'm like, yeah, like I apologize. She's like, get ready. And I'm like, okay. Stitch is like, I don't even want to be here anyways. I told you I could stay back. I don't know why she thought, and I think it's because we were in public that she thought like her mom wasn't gonna whoop her ass or something. I don't know. We get ready and I was like, can I go change? She's like, no, get your clothes on. I'm like, okay. So I literally like just put my pants on, my wet clothes, and I'm like, ah. So as I'm getting dressed, like midway, I'm like looking at Mr. Peach and Mrs. Peach, and I'm like, do I go? And he's like, see, like he's like, yes. And I'm like, oh, okay, because I felt kind of weird, because I'm like, y'all are responsible for me, you know. But I don't know, they were like, yeah, go, you're in trouble too. So me and Stitch get to walking, and Nars is right behind us, and she is hot, y'all. She's hot. Like I understand to a certain degree why she was upset, because Lilo was crying, and Lilo was like a sweetie, you know. She was scared. I honestly felt horrible, because I was like, oh my God, like I should have taken it more serious. And I'm over here thinking like she hurt me when like we both went down and she was like tight, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. So I can just imagine like how scared she was. So I really did feel bad, you know. I really did. And then when I apologized to her, like I sincerely meant it, because when it was me, I was like, oh, like all scared and shit, you know. And I was too caught up wanting to hurt her sister that I didn't think about her. So I did feel really bad, and I was like, damn, like I fucked up. As we get closer to the car, Stitch is gonna go in the front, and her mom tells her like, no, go in back. So she's in the back, but she's facing, like, she's like, can look at her mom. So mom's here, she's here, I'm on this side, so I'm behind her mom. So it's a long drive, okay? It is a long drive. I didn't say like anything unless I was spoken to, because she was so mad. Like even when she pulled out, it was like she was pissed. And so I just stayed quiet. Stitch is there with her arms folded, and she's still on her, like I don't give a fuck level. And I'm kind of like scared, because I'm like, I don't know how your mom rock. We're like driving, it's a long drive, and she moves the mirror, Nars, where she can see Stitch. As she's looking at her in the mirror, she asks her to change her effing face. Now, this mama was kind of gangsta, so I was like kind of used to that, because my mom would talk to me like that. So when she told Stitch to change her face, I changed my face, because I was like, oh, she not messing around. Stitch does not change her face. I tell you, this mama pulled over, reached behind, and was like, boom, hit her. And I was like, oh, okay. I just looked out the window, because I'm like, Stitch and her had some word, and she's like, don't be hitting me. She was like, what? She kind of like whooped her, you know. She got out of the car and everything, and she got back in the car, and she apologizes to me, and I'm like, it's fine, because I'm like, what am I supposed to say? Like, what am I supposed to say? I didn't know what to say. I just did not want to be next. So I was like, okay, this mom does not mess around. So I was kind of like scared. So I kind of just get quiet, and I kind of feel bad for Stitch because I never like to see anybody get hit. Even though I was handing out putazos también, I felt like it was different because I was like, an adult hit versus a child hit. It's a lot different, you know, in my opinion. I just kind of got quiet and I just looked over at Stitch here and there, and it like did not faze her. She was good. It didn't faze her at all. We passed out because it's a long ride, and well, I passed out because I was tired. Stitch probably passed out because she got her ass beat, but we passed out, and the only reason why we know we're home is because she's like, get out. And so we both get out, me and Stitch, and she's like, clean that whole fucking house. I don't care if there's no mess. Clean it, throw out all the garbage, this and that, telling us. And I'm like, okay. She's like, Alexis, I'm not talking to you. And I'm like, and so I just get inside. Stitch is like standing there just looking at her. And she tells her, don't make me get out of this car again because I'll whoop that ass again. And so she takes off and she leaves, y'all. And I'm like, damn, she really left. Like, we really got left. Like, we really are in trouble. Like, I was like, because it was just, but it was crazy to me. Like, oh my God, we were just playing and now we're over here. Like, it was for real serious, you know? So I make my way inside the house and I just put down my stuff. And I'm kind of just like, is this really happening? Like, is this real? Because it honestly did not feel real, y'all. It honestly like did not feel like this is real. Like, is this really happening right now? So put my stuff down and I kind of just like, what do I do? Then I grab my stuff and I make my way upstairs so I can shower. I tell Stitch, I was like, hey, if you need to take a shower. She's like, don't talk to me. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, okay, you gotta tell me twice. Because I feel like if we were to go at it again, like there's no one to stop us at all. And it's not like if I was scared. I was just like, there's no one to stop us. She was gonna hit me probably even harder because she was like hitting her mama, you know? I take me my hot ass shower and I'm literally like, I can't believe this just happened. Like, I can't believe we ruined it and now we're here. I was really just baffled, y'all. Like, I was really like, damn, we really messed up because we're back home. And I guess I was so used to being at the lake, like until like butt crack. Like, I'm used to being at the lake, butt crack morning and butt crack nighttime, okay? Like, we go when security's like, y'all wrap it up, you know, that kind of thing. So it felt weird being back home so early. Take my shower, clean up, and I put my clothes to wash. Again, I try and talk to her and I tell her, when you take a shower, I said, don't talk to me. And so I dropped my clothes and I was like, look, I'm not the one. I know you got your ass beat by your mama, but I'm not the one. So I won't talk to you anymore moving forward, but don't talk to me crazy because I like to fight. And what if I do too? I'm like, all right then. And so we just kind of just look at each other because we look real stupid, right? Just being like, okay, and I do too, you know? And so we just look at each other and I pick up the clothes and she's like, that's what I thought. And I said, don't. Because like, I'm now gonna like walk away. Now you wanna be like, that's what I thought. You should have just jumped and I would have jumped too. Because every little thing is gonna be alright. So I put my clothes to wash and I kind of take my time in there because I am messaging the ex, even though he is not messaging back. And when I come out, I see that Stitch is like making her way towards the laundry room. Again, I don't know what it is. I can't help myself. I'm like, I have a load. And she looks at me and she drops it in front of me. She's like, I know. Isn't this your job? Do it. Excuse me. Y'all, this smells so good. It's the NARS Laguna Bronzer Balm. She drops it right in front of me. I look at her and I just laugh and just walk on them. I walk on them and kind of just go like that with my patas. And she doesn't do anything. She doesn't do anything. She doesn't like do anything. And I walk past her and then I go start doing the dishes because we were told that we have to clean. So I was like, I'm gonna clean. I'm going to clean. I am not going to have NARS tell me anything of anything. So I go and clean and Stitch picks up her clothes and I hear this bitch open the freaking washer. Okay? And then you know how you hear like a of like wet clothes being dropped, you hear the sound, right? This bitch dropped my clothes on the floor. Okay, and I can hear the nozzles changing, where she's like changing the dial on the washing machine. And I'm washing the dishes and I'm like this, trying to like hear like, because I'm like, there's no way that she just did that. No way. So I'm like finishing up because I was like, I'm gonna give it some time. Maybe it'll change. Maybe it'll change. So I finish up. There wasn't a lot of dishes, but I'm still like, I'm gonna give the bitch the benefit of the doubt because she got me up. But at the same time, I knew she didn't want to put her hands on me and I didn't want to put my hands on her. So we were kind of like just seeing who was gonna throw the first, like, right? So I go in there and she has her arms folded like this and she's like against the sink and she's watching her clothes. And I look down and my dirty ass clothes are there with water. So I look up. She looks at me. So I grab them and I kind of like move her over with my booty and put them in the sink. And I look at her and she goes, because I wasn't going to throw the first hit. Because I was like, I'm not going to throw the first hit. I'm not going to. I'm just not. She literally punked me, right? So I'm like, all right. I should have just gave it to her right there and then, but I didn't. I don't know why. I was like, she has to be the one to throw the first punch. So we were just kind of going tit for tat of like trying to annoy each other. We were heating up food. I would take her plate out and I would sit there and watch my food be made and she wouldn't move me. And just like stupid stuff like that. Bumping into each other and like nothing being done. It was stupid. It was stupid. I finished what I had to do and I go back upstairs because I'm like, I'm not gonna deal with her. I'm not gonna like look at her face and have to deal with her the whole time because like I know they're not gonna be back until like booty nighttime, right? I'm like, instead of just being here, I'm gonna bounce. Like I'm just going to leave. So I start getting ready and I hit up one of my friends and I'm like, hey girl, I'm gonna go hang out with you. Okay. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm getting ready and as I'm getting ready, I see that she's kind of like upstairs in Sam's room, like trying to see like, okay, like, you know what I'm gonna do? I wanted to invite her so bad because I always feel bad for people being left out, but I really got to stop giving a damn because it has nothing to do with me at all, because she was hee-hawing over there at the lake. Like, okay, whatever, I don't even care. So as I'm about to leave, I'm in the restroom and I have my phone right there by me. I don't know why or what, but she took it. So the door was still open and I was getting ready. She came by, my phone was there and she grabs it and she starts walking off. And I'm like, cause like it was weird. Like we were doing stuff, like taking each other's like, but moving, but like, bitch, this is my whole ass phone. So I'm like, give me back my phone. Cause I was getting kind of irritated cause I'm like, that's not funny. Get out of here. Yeah, it wasn't funny to me, y'all. I was like, okay, that's not playing. Like, you're just being weird. So I go downstairs. Let's say Chase. I go downstairs and I'm like, give me my phone. And she's like, I don't have it. Like, she's like trying to like be funny, but I don't like her. Okay, I don't like her. And so I tell her, I'm like, no, like for like, give me my phone. Like, I'm not playing with you no more. Like, that's weird. Like, you taking my phone. And she looks at me and she's like, how? Like, you should have moved my food out of the microwave. And I'm like, yeah, but like I moved that shit. I didn't go and run with it like a weird bitch. Like, give me my phone. Because like it's not, I don't know, it's like one of those things where it's like you're playing at first, kind like that's not even playing, that's like we crazy, but you're playing at first and then like the person takes it too far where it's like, okay, like what are you doing? Like those are not, that's not the rules, you know? She keeps telling me I don't have your phone and I'm like, dude, like you literally took my phone. Like it's not even funny. Like what are you doing? Like give me back my phone. Like you're weird. Back in the day, being called weird was like really rude. It was rude. So it's still rude now, but I feel like back then it had like a different kind of sting because that's what the word was being used for, you know? That's what the word was. You're weird. We're like, well, I'm not weird. You know, that kind of thing. So I'm like, you're weird. Give me my phone. She's like, but you're weird. So we're literally like yelling at each other. We're like, you're weird. No, I'm not. No, you're weird. I'm like getting closer to her. And this bitch chucks my fucking phone at my fucking face like this. I was like, oh, and I looked back and like instant tears, y'all, instant tears. That hurt so bad. Has your phone ever like hit your face while you're like laying down and it's like, oh, because it's like painful? Okay, imagine someone like throwing a phone at your face, okay? So what did I say earlier? Because I wasn't gonna throw the first hit. Okay, right? So I was like, oh, so I turned around because I'm activating my Hulk instincts. She's on the couch and I have instant tears because this hurt so damn bad. I don't care if I hurt her feelings because I called her weird. Like no, I didn't even put my hands on her. I've been keeping my hands off of her. And this bitch straight threw my phone at me. I'm gaining my composure. And she's not saying anything. No like, yo, dude, I'm so sorry. None of that. I feel like maybe if she would have been like, oh, I'm sorry. Maybe, I don't know. Do y'all think that little lips have been like, okay, it's fine. I don't know. I'm like kind of waiting and I'm like crying. It's not good to fight when you're crying because I feel like the fight ain't fair because you're hitting like with like super strength or something. I don't know what it is, but I feel like it hits different when you're crying and beating ass. So I don't hear no apologies. My crazy ass goes like this because I'm like, and I'm tying up my hair. Okay, because you'll go crazy. I'm crying and tying up my hair because I'm like, you got to give it your all because she really don't play fair. She's throwing your phone in your face. So I'm literally tying up my hair, crying because y'all, it really hurt. She got me good. And I hear her chuckle like that. So before going after her, I told her, I know your mama told me not to put my hands on you, but you got me fucked up. And she is chuckling. Like, I don't know what she was doing. I don't know if it's because she was nervous or she was like, oh my God, but she was like chuckling. And I'm walking closer to her because I have my hair tied up and I'm like, what's funny, bitch? So before I'm going to like jump on her, she puts her foot out. And as she puts her foot out, I move it and we start tussling, y'all. We start tussling. This lights up. That is cute. And it has a mirror. I love how even though they know I'm recording, they still want to tell me like a story. And it's like, hello. But when I'm out there, nadie wants to talk to me. So we're tussling. We're fighting. Like, it was ugly, y'all. Like, I remember her having like a good chunk of my hair, pulling it, and I remember thinking this bitch is gonna make me go bald because she was pulling the shit out of my hair. So I started to pull her hair, wrap my hand around it, and it was just like, because it was just so intense and we didn't know where to stop. Like, no one was playing referee. It was, I don't know why they even let us be home alone together. Like, it was very bad. Like, it didn't need to go there at all. Putazos in the face. My lip was busted. Her face was busted. It was bad. Like, I didn't know who sangre was who because it was just so much and we were fighting. And then we eventually got separated. Like, she over there, I'm over here, catching our breath, all of that. And we just look up at each other and I'm like, you good? She's like, are you good? I'm like, I'm good. Are you good? I'm good. And that's what stopped the fight. When I tell you how, I wasn't even scared of like, ooh, I put my hands on her again. I was scared because we messed up them couches with our sangre. And I was scared. I was scared. But I was trying so hard not to show it because I have too much pride. And I was just like, looking at it again because I was getting so mad because I'm like, they're gonna be so bad. And I wasn't even thinking about like camera footage, nothing. We just gave each other a good putazo. I'm like thinking like, how am I gonna clean this mess? How am I gonna clean this mess? How am I gonna clean this mess? And she just starts to go for the restroom. She goes to the restroom, I go upstairs, I'm cleaning myself up. I'm pissed because I'm like, my face is messed up. I'm pissed because like my face looks like this. I'm like, oh my God, she had made me bust my lip and it hurt. And so I was mad about that, and I had like a bruise, like a slight bruise on my face, and I was like, oh my God. So I go back downstairs, I have my hair tied tight, and I got some Vaseline underneath the sink. So if we're gonna go again, it's just gonna slide off. If you know, you know. I go downstairs and I'm looking at her, and she don't look so pretty either. The top lip is like busted, and her face don't look cute. There's hair on the floor. Like, we just look at each other, and I tell her, like, she can help me clean up. And she's like, I guess. So we start cleaning up, and she's like, how are we gonna get that out? And it's like a couple of, like, you know, like drops. Like, there's sangre on there. Okay, there's sangre on there. So I'm like, I don't even know. I'm tripping about, like, I'm going to get in trouble. Like, I'm going to get in trouble. So as we're cleaning up and we're trying to, like, think what's gonna happen, I, like, tell her, I'm like, yo, like, I can't keep fighting you. Like, I'm going to get fired. And she's like, and I care why? And I'm like, okay, you probably don't care, but like, I care. And then she's like, so then stay in your lane. It was so weird, because I'm like, I don't even know this girl, and she is a guest, and we've already went 2 freaking rounds, y'all. 2 rounds. And I'm like, So I tell her, like, I'm gonna stay out your way, you stay out of mine. I can't be doing this. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, I have never went 2 rounds with somebody before like that, you know? And so she's like telling me that it's just like pretty much like whatever. It was like so weird, because like, it's like, how do you have that type of conversation with somebody? So we tried our best to clean. She gets a phone call, and it's Nars, and Nars is like screaming at her at the other end. And I'm like, they saw it. They saw the fight. They saw it. We hear a knock at the door. Open it, and it's Baltimore. Get your shit, let's go. And I'm like, why? Where am I going? She's like, get your shit, let's go. And I'm like, okay. So I get my stuff, go in the car with her, and she gives me an earful, y'all. She's like yelling at me, telling me like, did I not hear Miss Peach the first time, when embarrassing me? And I'm like, okay, but like, she threw the phone at my face. Like, she threw the phone, like, I had like a mark on my nose where she threw it so hard that like it was on there. So I was like, my nose. She's like, I don't give a fuck. Did you not understand? And I like yelling at me. And this bitch raised her hand to me, and she raised her hand. I kind of flinched, and it made her stop. But I was like wanting for her to put her hands on me, y'all. I was like, I want her to put her hands on me so like I can explode, because I feel like if I wouldn't have flinched, she probably would have gave me that good, like, you know? And so I tell her, I'm like, it's not only just my fault. It's not only just my fault. And she's like, I don't want to hear about it. You're gonna like leave tomorrow. I don't know. You gotta figure out your situation. Like, this is too much. Now I understand, you know, like that, like why I am the way I am. They don't want to deal with it anymore. I'm like, why am I even getting picked up by you? Like I wanted to know. And she was like, because they don't want to see your face. Like, do you understand? Like, you are supposed to be watching the kids. You're supposed to be babysitting, and you are acting. And she's like telling me, like, you know, call me all these like mean names in Spanish. And I'm like telling her, like, I'm not sorry. And she's like, what? I'm like, yeah, I'm not sorry. I'm like, I'm not sorry. And then she tells me that Stitch told her that I ruined the couch. And I'm like, Stitch told you, or she told them? She's like, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. And I'm like, okay. Okay, so we get to her spot, and I'm texting Tommy. I'm all, Tommy, I got in trouble, and I think like I really pushed it with these people, and I couldn't put their hands on me. She writes me back with like a quickness, and she's like, hey, give me the address. Ain't no one gonna put their hands on you. And I was like, I just wanted that like confirmation that like Tommy was gonna be there, because when I tell you Baltimore was like yelling in my face, y'all, I was like really tempted to like yell back, but I was kind of scared, because I'm like, I don't know, but I wanted to know, like, okay, tell me about it. She going come pick me up, but in a sick way at the same time, y'all. I was scared. I was like, what if she does come pick me up and like drama happens over there? And I was like, oh my God, Alexis, like, you are just surrounded with like drama because you bring the drama. Like, why did you have to like hit her? Like, you could have just took the L and walked out. You'd be hanging out with your friend right now. But no, you wanted to be like, you gonna hit me, bitch? You gonna slap me? You should have just took the L and left. I don't know what came over me. I text Sam, and I'm like, this is what happened, whatever. And she's like, why are you texting me? And I'm telling her, like, why wouldn't I be texting you? Like, I don't know why you're acting crazy, why you're acting stupid lately, but I want to know, like, I want to tell you, like, this is what happened, and I don't know if Stitch is saying a different story. And she's like, I don't even know what's going on. And so I'm trying to call her. She's not picking up, and I'm like, oh my God. And Baltimore is not talking to me. She's not talking to me, and I'm still like, I'm going to go out with my friend. I don't know why. I was like, I'm still gonna go with my friend. So Baltimore was like so stressed out with me, where she was like, I can't. We give you a place to live in. We feed you. I buy you clothes. And I'm like, once, maybe a few times. I'm like, and you ruined my backpack, because she was trying to throw everything under the sun in my face. And she's like, you see, people like you, that's why you stay over there. That's why you never grow. That's why people like you, they stay on the garbage. Just kidding. But like, no, she was like pretty much saying, like, people like me, that's why we don't grow. That's why we stay in the ghetto. That's why people don't want to be around people like me. And that's why they don't get along with me. That's why, like, because I taint everything. And I'm like, just like listening, and she was telling me that, like, I'm like a rotten apple, that when I get placed with other good apples, I rotten them. And I'm like, God damn. And so I tell her that, like, she is hurting my feelings. I'm like, you're hurting my feelings. I don't judge you with the things that you do with Mr. Shut up, because it is none of your business. And that's your problem. You are a child, and you are always in adult business. And I tell her, because you guys put me in adult business. Learn to shut up. That's what my problem is. And maybe your mom didn't teach you, and that's why you don't have good examples. And I'm like, don't talk about my mom. Maybe your mom didn't teach you, because look where she's at. Look what she's doing. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Your mom was rotten, and that's why you're rotten. Ooh, bitch. I was like... And so I just stayed quiet. She went upstairs. She called it a night. And when that bitch called it a night, I snuck out. I snuck out, and I did some crazy, wild stuff where I shouldn't have. I don't know what I was thinking. Tommy was blowing up my phone. Where you at? What's going on? Give me the bitch's address. Alexa, you good? And I'm like, I'm okay. She didn't do anything. And she's like, I'm gonna pick you up. This is like a perfect example of why I tell you this. And I wild out, y'all. Like, I wild the out. So I'm going to leave it there, because it has been already a long story time. I love you guys so freaking much. If you guys enjoy story times, please make sure to give me a big thumbs up. It really helps me out a lot, and I would greatly appreciate it. I love you guys. Besos a todos, and I'll see you guys in my next story time. Bye. Tommy was crazy as fuck, okay? When I text her that, she was messaging me telling me that if they get close to me, go to the restroom, get a bar of soap, put it in the pillowcase, and just until I get out. And she had a lot of crazy advice. Her and my cousins, like, whenever like things would pop off, whatever, crazy. And I was like, and then what? Okay, taking notes all the time.